Your birthday is coming up. Someone asks what you're planning. You shrug and say, "Nothing, it's just another day." They laugh at first. Then they look at you like you just said something wrong. Suddenly, you're the strange one, the ungrateful one, the difficult one. Maybe you've been there. Maybe you've watched people lean in and say, "Come on, you have to celebrate." Maybe they've told you life is short, you should make it big. And maybe a small part of you wondered, why does wanting a quiet day feel like a crime? Stay with me. This might be more about your mind than your mood. Because here's what no one says out loud. Not everyone who avoids the spotlight is cold. Not everyone who skips the party is broken. And not everyone who says it's just another day is pretending. Some people are protecting something. Now, some people are processing something. Some people are simply wired differently. Let me talk to you directly for a minute. If you've ever felt judged for being low-key, this video was made for you, not to excuse you, not to romanticize you, but to understand you, and maybe to challenge you, gently, at the end. There are usually 3 kinds of people in this situation. The first group truly doesn't care. They experience their birthday like they experience Tuesday. Neutral, steady, no surge of emotion. Their nervous system stays calm whether 30 people sing at them in a restaurant or no one remembers the date. That's emotional stability, not indifference. Psychology calls this low affect intensity. Some brains simply don't spike as high on positive or negative events. It's not a flaw, it's a temperament. For these people, blowing out candles doesn't feel magical. It feels like air moving across wax. And that's okay. The second group is different. They say they don't care, but their body tells another story. Their chest tightens when the attention turns toward them. Their mind starts running like a browser with 17 tabs open. Who do I invite? What if they don't come? What if they do come? What if it's awkward? This isn't apathy. It's cognitive overload. The brain is a prediction machine. It constantly tries to forecast outcomes to keep you safe. When an event feels socially unpredictable, the brain flags it as a threat. Not because it is dangerous, but because it is uncertain. So instead of excitement, you feel tension. Instead of joy, you feel pressure. Avoiding the celebration becomes a way to reduce noise. You're not rejecting happiness. You're managing stimulation. That's a nervous system strategy, not a personality defect. Then there's the third group, and this one is quieter. This group has a memory attached to the date. Maybe when you were 8, you waited for classmates who never showed up. Maybe your family forgot one year. Maybe the cake was there, but the warmth wasn't. The brain doesn't store events as stories. It stores them as sensations. A missed expectation becomes a small imprint. Over time, those imprints layer into what feels like scar tissue. So now, when your birthday approaches, your body remembers before your mind does. You tell people it's not a big deal, but somewhere deep down, you learn that expecting too much leads to disappointment. So you expect nothing. That way, nothing can hurt you. It's not weakness, it's adaptation. Now here's the part society gets wrong. We praise the loud celebration. We equate visibility with vitality. If you post the smiling photo, gather the crowd, let 30 voices sing your name, you are seen as healthy. If you stay home with a book, you are labeled distant. But health is not volume. Confidence is not decibels. Some people feel most alive in quiet spaces. Some people experience meaning internally, not publicly. The absence of spectacle does not equal the absence of joy. At the same time, I need to say something honest. Not everyone who avoids the spotlight is doing it from strength. Sometimes avoidance is armor. Sometimes it's fear dressed up as independence. And if we're going to protect you, we also have to be truthful with you. Ask yourself this: if no one would judge you, what would you choose? And if there were no expectations, no social media, no family pressure, what would your ideal day look like? Would it still be quiet? Or would you secretly want someone to plan something for you? This is where freedom and fear separate. Freedom says, I choose this because it fits me. Fear says, I choose this so I won't be disappointed. They can look identical from the outside. Only you can feel the difference on the inside. And let me give you an image. Imagine your calendar as abstract art, colors and blocks and reminders scattered everywhere. For some people, adding a birthday party is one more bright shape. For others, it's one shape too many. The stress isn't about the day, it's about the load. Modern life already keeps the brain in mild overdrive. Notifications, work demands, social expectations. The nervous system rarely gets full rest. So, when another socially intense event approaches, even a positive one, your body may whisper, "Not this time." That whisper is not shameful. It's informative. It tells you how regulated you are. It tells you how much margin you have left. Listening to it can be an act of self-respect. Ignoring it can be an act of self-betrayal. But here's the twist. If you always listen to the whisper of avoidance, your world can shrink. If every uncertain event gets labeled too much, too risky, too exposed, your comfort zone becomes your cage, and cages can feel safe. This is why I won't romanticize skipping the party. I won't turn quiet into a badge of superiority. Being low-key does not make you deeper. Being loud does not make someone shallow. Different nervous systems, different needs. The real question is intention. What are you choosing quiet because it nourishes you, or because it protects you from something you haven't faced? That's not a question anyone else can answer for you. It's an internal audit. Think back to that childhood memory, if you have one. The empty chair, the forgotten call, the song that felt forced. You survived it. You adapted. You built subtle armor. That armor may have served you for years, but armor is heavy. Sometimes it keeps out connection along with pain. If today you actually want a small dinner with two people who know you well, but you say nothing because you're afraid to hope, that's not freedom. That's fear steering the wheel. And if today you genuinely want a peaceful morning, coffee alone, a long walk, maybe a quiet message from one close friend that is not broken, that is alignment. You're allowed to define meaning in your own language. Society often confuses extroversion with emotional health, but research on temperament shows that introversion is simply a preference for lower stimulation environments. It's not social incompetence. It's not emotional deficiency. It's energy management. When someone calls you weird for wanting less noise, they're filtering you through their nervous system, not yours. What feels nourishing to them may feel draining to you. That mismatch does not make you wrong. It makes you different. Still, I want you to notice something subtle. If the idea of people singing to you in a restaurant fills you with dread, is it the song you dislike? Or the vulnerability? Being seen can be terrifying, not because you are fragile, but because being seen means being evaluated. And the human brain is wired for belonging. Social rejection activates the same neural pathways as physical pain. So of course you'd rather avoid scenarios where you might feel awkward or exposed. That's not drama. That's biology. But growth sometimes requires tolerating mild exposure. Not to prove anything to others, but to show yourself that you can survive visibility, that you can receive attention without collapsing under it. So here's the balanced truth. You are not broken for wanting a quiet birthday. You are not difficult for rejecting spectacle. You are not ungrateful for declining a crowd. And you are also responsible for examining your own motives. If you belong to the quiet tribe, the ones who prefer depth over display, you are allowed to exist without apology. You're allowed to celebrate softly. Yeah, you're allowed to let the day pass gently, and if part of you longs for connection but hides behind indifference, you're allowed to grow beyond that too. You're allowed to risk a little hope. You're allowed to say, actually, I would like to see you. So when the next person asks what you're doing for your birthday, pause. Feel your answer in your body before you say it. Make sure it comes from alignment, not armor. Make sure it comes from choice, not avoidance. If this resonated, leave a quiet comment, not to perform, just to signal that you're here. Subscribe if you want more conversations that protect you and challenge you at the same time. In the next video, we'll talk about why some people feel loneliest in crowded rooms and what that really says about the mind. Until then, remember this: you're not broken. You're not too much. You're not enough. You're allowed to choose your volume, and you're allowed to choose it from freedom, not fear.